Hello everyone, my name is Barrick, and in this video, Iris will be performing 5 repetitions of 10 levels of the Grid World puzzle game. This is a clean slate test, which means that all of the information that Iris gained from previous tests has been erased. The purpose of this video is to show how quickly it can improve its ability to perform a given task. So in order to speed things along, in the first repetition, I'm in control of the game, and I'm showing Iris a solution to each of the levels. If this is your first time watching an Iris video, it might be helpful to go back and watch the previous video, which I'll link in the description, because I go into a little more detail about what's going on screen. After I finish this last level, Iris takes control. In previous tests, Iris was given free rein to choose whatever goals it could come up with, such as moving against a wall or collecting a key. But for this test, Iris's only goal is to collect the batteries. You can already see that it's trying to find a balance between exploration, which is trying new things, and exploitation, which is using its existing knowledge. This is especially evident in this level, because it doesn't have a whole lot of experience with walls, and now there's a whole bunch of walls in between it and the batteries. So it experiments with the walls to try and figure out if it can move through them to get to the batteries faster than the way that I originally showed it. This level is another good example of that, because it tries collecting the batteries from the inside of this little box before collecting them from the outside as it was shown. In the solution that I showed it, I never moved the wrong way against one of these one-way arrows, so it decided to take a little extra time to explore them before moving on. I also did not touch the fire in this level, so when it touches the fire and learns that it resets the level, it decides to do a little bit of experimentation with that as well. When I showed it the levels with doors and keys, I immediately went and collected the key before opening each door, so it doesn't understand that it needs a key to open a door, but it quickly learns from that mistake. This level introduces a new object, a fire extinguisher, which allows Iris to put out one fire. Because of that limitation, Iris learns that it has to be careful about which fire it chooses to extinguish to make sure that it is still able to achieve its goal. It's interesting to note that it has already associated fire extinguishers with fire and keys with doors. So after collecting the fire extinguisher, it doesn't try and use the extinguisher to open the door. It knows that it needs the key to do that. This final level requires a specific sequence of sub-goals in order to complete it. It has to collect the key at the top, open the door on the left, collect the 2 fire extinguishers, put out the fire on the bottom, collect the key on the bottom, and then go up, put out the fire that's next to the door, unlock the door, and then get to the battery. In each of the following repetitions, you'll see that it gets faster and better at solving each of the levels. One interesting thing about this level is that there is a more efficient way to beat it. It can use that first key to open the door directly to the battery instead of going and collecting the second key. However, because it's so fixated on collecting the battery, it decides to follow through with the way that it has been shown rather than take the time to explore and potentially find a more efficient way of doing it. But that's not always the case. In this level, you can see that it is exploring new ideas and trying to find a new way to beat the level. Its fixation with the top left corner here actually revealed a bug in its modeling code. Just one more thing to work on. Despite that little glitch, you can see that in a very short amount of time, it's gotten really good at completing all the levels. In some cases, it came up with a different way of beating a level than I originally showed it. Thank you for watching, and for more information, visit iris-ai.com.